Hey, everybody, welcome to the SkyLounge podcast, episode number 252. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. Follow me at the SkyLounge on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Google Podcasts, and also check out the SkyLounge on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Without any further ado, let's get shit started with episode number 252, Bubbly Bubble Blasting Playoff Players and Other Endeavors, Woke Ball, and Reality. And you motherfuckers know, when I say woke ball, there's only one sports ball league that I can only be talking about. The Woke League of Chinese Basketball, aka the NBA. And in the Woke League of Chinese Basketball, round one series are all wrapped up. Finally, teams like the Clippers and Lakers can stop twiddling their thumbs and smelling their own fucking assholes, because that's what they've been doing for I don't know how many fucking days they've been waiting, post boycott and all this shit. So they waited for two series that ended up going to game sevens, which is crazy enough because the Houston Rockets, who had a 2-0 series lead against the OKC Thunder, kept choking on themselves. Have a 2-0 lead. Tie the series up 2-2. Have a 3-2 lead. Tie the series up 3-3. In Game 7, the Houston Rockets looked very, 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 very lackadaisical. And that three-point shooting is going to be a fucking problem for the Houston Rockets. They were absolutely terrible on the night against OKC. OKC, to be fair, played brilliantly till the end, I thought. Just an unfortunate last possession with the game. Rockets being up 103-102. Luguentz Dort, who was having an incredible series, an incredible game, goes for the three-pointer, and James Flopping Harden decides to play some defense for once. Congratulations, kiddo. You finally decided to man the fuck up. So the Houston Rockets avoid embarrassment, and they are now headed into the fire tunnel that is known as the Los Angeles Lakers, the cunty, annoying, woke Los Angeles Lakers. And yeah, that matchup is going to be something else. I can't even fucking pretend to be excited about that shit. The Lakers are going to win in 5. If they win in 6, so be it. But the Lakers are going to win in 5. Dude, come on. The level of shock and surprise that people have when these series turn out to be inevitable, it's like, why are you shocked and surprised? The NBA has no parity again, which is a shame. But there are teams that are going to try, like the Denver Nuggets, who came back from a 3-1 series deficit against the Utah Jazz to win Game 7. Very low scoring and just all around decent enough defensive battle in Game 7, where the Nuggets went 80-78. And Jamal Murray, as much as I think he is a left-wing Marxist illiterate prick, he was absolutely brilliant in games 5, 6, and 7. I'm going to be real honest about that shit. Dude has been just carrying this team, and Jokic showing up big time in Game 7, puts the Utah Jazz into oblivion. I mean, with the Utah Jazz, you got to be thinking, how the fuck have you won nothing? Despite the talent, despite the head coaching, despite every bit of opportunity you have to fucking win, you can't do shit. Oh, good job. You're going to sign Donovan Mitchell to a lengthy, maxed out contract, which isn't going to mean shit when you can't support the kid. And each and every fucking step of the way, your entire organization just chokes. So the Utah Jazz flies out of the bubble, heads home, and the Denver Nuggets will be facing the Clippers. And I think the Nuggets are going to get this Clippers in 6. That's my whole thought process here. Nuggets in 6, Lakers in 5. The woke league of Chinese basketball has their round 2 Western Conference matchups all set. Finally, whilst round 2 of the Eastern Conference has been going on for quite some time. Here's the fucking thing. Both series have already played 2 fucking games. All right. This goddamn woke league of Chinese basketball sometimes has problems with scheduling. I noticed that. And the one team that I am shocked that has problem with their fucking scheduling, aka not showing up, is the Milwaukee Bucks. Dude, how the fuck are you this lackadaisical since the restart? This isn't just the Miami series. This isn't just the Orlando series. This is the entire bubble restart. The Milwaukee Bucks have looked really fucking bad. And again, what have I talked about with the Miami Heat? How good this fucking team actually is. How under the radar this team actually is. Nobody's been saying shit about the Miami Heat, but there they are. Jimmy Buckets doing his thing. Although in game 2, people will say, oh, referees! They're about to give this game away. They potentially could have. I mean, again, the NBA does have a history of rigging games as early as 2 decades ago. So don't be fucking shocked if there were some hands trying to push the Bucks into winning and at least tying the series up. But the Heat's have the Heat's got the fucking 2-0 series lead on this one. So I am curious to see how the Bucks respond back in game 3. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Bucks end up tying the series 2-2, maybe losing it in 6. That's what I could see from this Bucks team and this Heat team that has problems closing out games a lot. The fourth quarter is like an allergy reaction to them. They just choke up and just fucking swell up and do nothing of importance. So the Heat have to be really careful of that. Whereas the Bucks, I mean, you got to wake the fuck up, dude. You haven't been woken up since since the bubble fucking started. So gotta do something, motherfuckers. You gotta do something. Like the Toronto Raptors, who have been spanked in their first 2 games by the Boston Celtics, where I'm not going to lie, I was wrong about the Boston Celtics. I was really wrong about the Boston Celtics in thinking that the Raptors were going to have, the numbers on them. But Jason Tatum is, like I said, proving to be the face of the franchise. I mean, he is going to be a perennial all-star, damn near superstar in this league in about a season or 2, give or take. And the Raptors, in my mind, still have enough firepower. They have enough oomph factor to get back in the series. And honestly, I would love that series to go into 7. But again, boys and girls, I'm going to be real honest here. I haven't been watching basketball. Something about just the overall pretentiousness of this league and the sheer hypocrisy from the political illiteracy is something that I just can't get myself to, dusting that off in my head and just watching the games. It's difficult to do. And maybe that's an immature, part of me that can't cope with it. Because I honestly think, the NBA players should do better. I think the league should be doing better. But the woke league of Chinese basketball is, only going to play subservience to China, communism, socialism, and all the stupid Democrat agenda. So I'll be honest. I'm going to keep, up with the NBA with, stats, with, box scores and other fun things. But actual game itself, I don't know if I want to watch it. I don't think I'm going to watch it until the NBA Finals. And even then, that's a big asterisk if I'm going to watch it or not. Then why are you watching hockey, asshole? Because hockey didn't get up in his fucking asshole and all up in all our faces about the perpetual wokeness, yeah, they did kneel. They did boycott at the behest of guys like Evander Kane and Matt Dumba and spokesman Ryan Reeves talking about all this shit before the boycott for Jacob Blake, which again was completely stupid, ill-informed, and just generally showing the political illiteracy of athletes all over. The NHL has not been as, annoyingly woke as the NBA. And honestly, the NHL has more, I would say, in-game drama because of the sheer nature of the sport. Whereas basketball, I mean, it's 4 quarters of just slow build-ups and shit. And honestly, like I said, with the whole rigging situation and the history of rigging in the fucking NBA, you already know what the goddamn shit's going to come out to with the lack of parity in the West. You know they want to push for the Clippers and the Lakers, and somehow the Lakers are going to fucking make it to the final. It's going to be annoying as shit for everybody. But the NHL doesn't have that. The NHL just has that question mark going into any fucking series. And here's the thing. Every round 2 series on Monday started as a 3-1 series. All right? Every fucking series on Monday in round 2 for the NHL was 3-1. But there's only one team that has advanced to the Eastern Conference Final. Technically a conference final. I know I just, blew the whole surprise there, but Tampa Bay Lightning, they took the series win against the Boston Bruins 4-1, where Boston only won 1 game. And where in games 2 and 5, Tampa Bay wins it in overtime for game 2 and 2 overtime in game 5. The Bruins were anything but the Stanley Cup finalists from last season. They looked tired. They looked, out of their fucking gas compared to the Tampa Bay Lightning, who matured up the season. Finally. In my mind personally, I don't know if John Cooper is still the guy to take this team over the edge. But at least right now, this Bolts team, they're not fucking faltering back. Bruins, on the other hand, they're going home. Back to that loyal fan base who is a bit toxic in New England, right? Boston, Massachusetts sports. The fans get very irritable, very cunty. Like one of the fucking sports media guys in Boston complaining about Tuukka Rask, where Tuukka left the bubble because his kid was in the hospital, dude. What the fuck are you getting mad for? At the end of the day, it's just hockey. And Tuukka's won it before. And if you're a Boston fan, you experienced that shit. So shut the fuck up. God damn. And at one point, I'm that cunt that says, oh, this is a huge moment of sport. Simultaneously, yeah, it's just a sport. There's other shit that happens in real life. But comparatively, real life can get boring. That's why we watch sports. And one series that is just fascinating to keep an eye on is the New York Islanders having a 3-2 series lead against the Philadelphia Flyers. And yes, in Game 5, the Philadelphia Flyers took the Islanders into overtime, where the Islanders, came back from a 2-goal deficit. But this looks like another series that could go a long way. If the Philadelphia Flyers in Game 6 can get off to an early start and, prevent the Islanders from revving up and getting going, you could potentially see a Game 7 here. And in the Western Conference, we are definitely going to get a Game 7 on Friday between the Dallas Stars and the Colorado Avalanche. And man, I got to tell you, game 5 was where Colorado really decided to just show up, down a series 3-1. Nathan McKinnon, nutted the fuck up. And he actually extended his point streak to 13 games. I believe it went down to 14 if he scored today. I could be wrong on that, boys and girls. Please check on that for me. But he is the only player amongst, the three above him that have that accolade or, honor. And let me just rephrase that so I don't fucking sound like a goddamn retard. Only 3 players in NHL history have longer point streaks in the postseason. Brian Trottier, 1981 with 18 games played. Mark Messier, 1988, 14 games played. Bobby Orr, 1917, 14 games played. So McKinnon and this entire Avs team is just showing out and finally, revealing to themselves how good they actually are, where early on in the series, the first 4 games, it looked like, the Avs were kind of, falling and tripping all over themselves. But now it's the Dallas Stars doing it, which, again, unfortunate. You have a 3-1 series lead, dude. Scratch that. You had a 3-1 series lead. Now, series is tied 3-3. It's anyone's game in Game 7. And like I said, I would personally love to see the Dallas Stars taking on the Vegas Golden Knights in the Western Conference Final, because as I will show you again, boys and girls, I do have this puck from December 13th, 2019, from Dallas American Airlines Center, where I got to watch the Dallas Stars taking on the Vegas Golden Knights and the Knights taking an overtime win. Had a brilliant time, and I would love those brilliant times to go on in a conference final series. But we'll see what happens, because the Vegas Golden Knights isn't making it easy upon themselves either, where the Vancouver Canucks furiously come back in Game 5 to stay alive in the series, and Vegas only having a 3-2 lead. It's a bit iffy, but fun things to talk about within this series. Marc-Andre Fleury is now 6th all-time amongst goaltenders in playoff wins. The Game 4 win against the Vancouver Canucks, which was actually a 5-3 comeback win from the Vegas Golden Knights, brilliant shit, was Fleury's 81st career postseason victory, surpassing the great Ken Dryden. And it's crazy to note, too, that Marc-Andre Fleury has never lost to the Vancouver Canucks in regulation, only in overtime in 14 years. So, real crazy shit. But what was really crazier was being in the, series down 3-1, the Vancouver Canucks, with Jacob Markstrom being injured, unfit to play, brings in 24-year-old Thatcher Demko, playing his first ever postseason appearance ever. And yes, I mean, during the 5-0 win against the Vancouver Canucks, I believe in Game 1, Thatcher Demko actually did, mind the net after, Jacob Markstrom was pretty much thrown out. But this was Thatcher Demko's official game in Game 5, and 42 saves on 43 shots on the night. Thatcher Demko basically carried the Vancouver Canucks to a win in Game 5 and a chance to push the series to Game 7. And honestly, conference finals are a big wild card to potential, Stanley Cup, final appearance. But when you can't fucking close out a round 2 series, I mean, what the fuck? What the fuck do you even expect that for? So Vegas really has to get their shit together, and hopefully Vegas can close out relatively well tomorrow, Thursday, where they're going to face Vancouver again. It's going to be technically Vancouver's home ice, and so last change will be for Vancouver, and I'm hoping Vegas can not shit the bed completely in Game 6. That'd be nice. That'd be fucking nice. Got the Tampa Bay Lightning just fucking waiting there for anybody to just fucking finish up. But there you have it, folks. Got all the fucking playoff shit going around right now, but of course, you got sports ball news all over, especially in the world of hockey, where the Montreal Canadiens acquire goaltender Jake Allen from the St. Louis Blues, along with a 7th-round pick from the Blues. The St. Louis Blues receive a 2020 3rd-round pick from the Washington Capitals and a 2020 7th-round pick from the Chicago Blackhawks, which means there is a lot of fucking money going into goaltenders for the Montreal Canadiens, but if you want to split goaltender duties between Carey Price and Jake Allen, I think that is a very viable option in the upcoming season for the Montreal Canadiens. They have proven that, hey, in a playoff series, Carey Price is that guy. And you need to make sure, on the way to the playoffs, that the man's healthy and good to go. So Jake Allen, in my mind, is a good get, and for a relatively low sum of picks, not even Montreal's. So good on Montreal to make smart moves. Kind of curious, right? But the Florida Panthers, I don't know if this is a smart move, but it just seems like a necessary move. So Florida Panthers hired new GM Bill Zito, former CBJ Blue Jackets executive, and coming from Columbus, maybe you know how to deal with chaos. I don't fucking know. I don't know if you're going to do well with the Florida Panthers. That fucking organization always fucks up. They haven't won a goddamn playoff series since 1996, man. All right? That's a bit of a fucking problem. But what's also a problem is the Pittsburgh Penguins just trying to skin their opponents and make them theirs. Hiring Todd Reardon as assistant coach on defense, the head coach who was part of the Washington Capitals for 2 seasons, kind of the shitty part of the Washington Capitals for 2 seasons. You really want to bring this guy in? I don't know if that's the best choice, but Pittsburgh doing Pittsburgh things. Who the hell knows? Maybe they fucking get back in the postseason and win the fucking Stanley Cup next year. That would be some shit. That'd be some shit. Out of the weirdness that is 2020 into the unknown of 2021, right? But 2020 is funky, dude. You got athletes, social animals, trying to go around, have fun, but that kung flu be going around. And Neymar of Paris Saint-Germain went out to Ibiza. And yeah, he caught the kung flu. Paul Pogba did too. But isn't it funny though when the CDC mentions that only 6% of deaths are actually caused by the Chinese virus and the remaining 94% are complications from other diseases rather than the kung flu itself? Yet we're still all worried and panicking about all this shit, which is fantastic. Just fantastic. You're all fucking retards. Yeah, I'm an asshole. What are you going to fucking do about it? Nothing. What's crazy? Only in a couple days, we're going to have the NFL back. It's wild. Texans versus Chiefs. I'm taking the Chiefs money line. I don't know if I'm going to take them with the points. Because maybe, Deshaun Watson might pull some magical bullshit out of his ass for the Texans, but I doubt anything good happens with the Houston Texans. They're shit. They're going to be shit. Just like the LA Chargers. I honestly see this team as a bit of a mess all around. And Derwin James being out for the season with a torn meniscus, placed on the IR after undergoing surgery, is a huge minus for this squad. I mean, Joey Bosa alone isn't going to carry that defense. It's not. Derwin James has been quintessential for that defense running smoothly. So, bit rough, but what's going to be rougher is, Tyrod Taylor being named QB1 by Coach Anthony Lynn, which, yeah, Justin Herbert isn't ready, and I don't think he's going to be any good. Much like the Chargers, they're just going to be aligned in shit. And fuck the Chargers. Who gives a shit? Who gives a goddamn shit? There's a lot of these AFC teams I try to talk about, but I end up just coming off apathetic. Because after a while, you just stop caring. Except the New England Patriots, because they're in a new, interesting age. And the Patriots went ahead and released Mohamed Sanu after trading for a second-round pick in October for the Cat. And they tried to go for Leonard Fournette, without much success. But you still get the feeling that Bill Belichick is going to, still do some black magic bullshit. Emperor Palpatine is going to get another fucking apprentice in there. Even though he's never going to be Tom. Still going to have a puppet to control and maneuver around. So that will be something interesting to look out for. But within that failure of signing Leonard Fournette, there was a team that got his contract signed up. And it's Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Leonard Fournette situation in Jacksonville was very obvious when we knew the divorce was going to be imminent. But being released for nothing was kind of a surprise. Then you got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going for an all-in push on this offense. And you got to give props to this team for just piling it on. Adding on Leonard Fournette to essentially give themselves the 2017 Pro Bowl team in terms of offense. And this is where the questions start popping in my head. Will that defense actually hold? Is Tom Brady going to hold up? Will he crumble? I don't fucking know. Will Bruce Arians live up to snuff? Because he's known to crumble too. So just saying, kids, these are some viable questions. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have historically been a doormat in the playoffs. Except that one run with Gruden against the Raiders. But are you sure you can do it this year with this squad? Are you sure about it? Is your offensive line gonna hold? Is your defense gonna give up 40 fucking points and you're gonna expect to score 45? That's a lot of questions. And your division it's no cakewalk. I mean, you got the New Orleans Saints, who, they got their whole bullshit, but this is a very loaded division. The Atlanta Falcons are just there. Who gives a shit about them? Matt Ryan's going to get PTSD from looking at Tom anyways. But Carolina Panthers, New Orleans Saints, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, NFC South is a bit of a heavy division this year. And in this heavy division, in the New Orleans Saints, Alvin Kamara finally showed up to practice after 4 or so days of being absent. And the team is still going through contract talks with Kamara. And the situation they're stuck in now is, do you pay Alvin Kamara all the money that you can, like Christian McCaffrey, or trade him? Either way you look at it, you're fucked. Either way, you're fucked. It's really, really some curious shit. And what I'm actually looking at on and off, during the recording, boys and girls, is actually the Dodgers home game against the Arizona Diamondbacks in the 10th inning with the fucking runner in second, which is the dumbest fucking shit. But Arizona is up 2-1 in the bottom of the 10th inning, and the Dodgers are down to Chris Taylor at bat with 0 outs. So maybe some fun shit happens. in the few minutes that we have of recording. But in the few minutes that we have of recording, I have to talk about something in the MLB Hall of Faming. Jesus, dude, my fucking words roll on because reading can confuse the brain sometimes. But what isn't confused is the fact that Tom Seaver, Hall of Fame pitching legend, passed away. Complication from various illnesses, and the New York Mets legend and all-around baseball behemoth will be remembered. 3-time Cy Young winner, 12-time All-Star. It is a very somber time in the social media realm of baseball right now. So, condolences to his family, but trying to keep facing saying a very serious news bit here. The Dodgers just scored in the 10th inning, so the score is now 2-2, with Chris Taylor actually bunting the ball really well. That was good. And third baseman missed that fucking shit. That was embarrassing. But anyhow, boys and girls, I'm gonna go ahead and watch the conclusion of that shit. So ultimately, playoff sports ball, man. Baseball, we're hopefully gonna get to that point here real soon. So yeah, it's a beauty. It's a beauty when it is. Next episode on the Sky Lounge, I expect something small. If anything. No, something will be out. All right, motherfuckers. I'll be back tomorrow. Okay. Appreciate you dropping by this episode. Follow me at the Sky Lounge on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Google Podcasts, and also check out the Sky Lounge on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Till next time, fuck off.